when you have a couple that is about to get married, they go to a chassan class and they go to a kala class and they talk about all kind of stuff. I think a lot of the stuff that they talk about that they learn are not really applicable. They should not really learn it then, should learn it later on. However, I do believe that they don't talk about a certain topic enough. Not before they get married and not pre-marriage. And that is how to conduct yourself, especially for the guys. Don't worry, I have a big cheshbon with the girls as well, but first of all with the guys. How to conduct yourself at home. In the olden days, many times the Talmidim would live in the proximity of the rabbi, so they would see how he acts and have an idea. But we don't know how to act. A guy goes to Kollel, he comes from Kollel, so he thinks that his wife is just like his chavruta, she wears the chavruta that wears a skirt, so he talks to her about the geschmack of learning and Or you have a guy that goes to work and he comes home and he talks to his wife the same thing as he talks to his friends or his colleagues at work. Well, first of all, that's a problem. And the reason is very simple. You should not have different talk in different places. You should always talk like a Ben Torah. And a person that is a Ben Torah acts and talks in a certain way regardless of where he is. But, okay, so we don't really know what a Ben Torah, how a Ben Torah should act. Because sometimes we do get a wrong example in the excitement of learning and so on and so forth, and in the way that we like to imitate the way that, let's say for example, if you have a rabbi that talks in a certain way like this, you all of a sudden find yourself imitating that, and you think that this is, and that's not the case. I'm sorry, that's not the case. So should a person speak? How should a person talk? I always told you that in order to learn the essence of a relationship, and what is a relationship, you always have an example there. The example is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If you understand what it's all about, you understand that what is happening between man and his creator is a relationship. It's a certain type of a relationship, which is an example for all other types of relationships. And let's talk about the talk now. Chazal tells us, Le'olam, the person should never inflict extra terror at home. In other words, Le'olam lo yatil adam eima bebeito. Don't be a tyrant. What is it? So what should I be? How should I talk? It's very simple. How should a Jewish home, the conversation that should happen? Very simple. Your button is open. It's very simple. If your shul, you know how to daven in shul, right? And the shul is Bet Mikdash Me'at. This is a small scale Beit HaMikdash, a small scale temple. How would you act in the temple? In the temple, not temple Israel, temple in Yerushalayim. How would you act there? With Kedusha Yetera, with excess holiness. You purify yourself. There's halachot of how you should walk there, and what you should dress there, and how you purify before you get there, and so on and so forth. But okay, so let's say it's too removed from us, because unfortunately we don't have the Holy Temple. For now, at least. So let me tell you this. You know how to act in shul? Well, I don't know. Sometimes it's not a good example. But yes, it is a good example. The same way in which you act in shul, that's the way you should act at home. So if you want to know how to act at home, go over the halachot of behavior in shul. It's very simple. And I'm willing to bet that if you go to a place, you could tell, just as an observer, you could tell a lot about the essence of the people are there based on their behavior in shul. It's very simple. You could tell about a person by the way he davens, by the way he acts in shul. And in shul, you should not be talking. You're coming there for a sentence, for a reason. So I do believe that a person that talks in shul most likely doesn't bother to talk to his wife or to pay attention to his wife. I'm willing to bet. Why? Because if you know that you are in shul, you need to pay attention. Most likely when your wife, you come home, you know that you should pay attention to your wife. Whether you come home or she comes home. How are you? How was your day? Sit down. Talk to her a little bit. When you come from work, don't talk to your wife about your work. You know, this done this to me, and this one did to me, and the insurance. Don't talk about these things. Talk to your wife about little things. How are you? How are you feeling? How was your day? Let her tell you how was her day. You should not be sitting there, you know, and telling your wife about your work experience. That's not the thing. As much as you don't come from yeshiva and you review, do a chazara of everything that you learn with your wife. And the Rebbe says this, and the Rebbe said that, and so on and so forth. That's not it is. You need to learn to dedicate full attention to your wife when you come home or when she's home. You need to give her full attention. As much as when you daven in shul, you should pay full attention to what you're doing. When you daven, you don't, say, you don't do it like this. This is davening. I'm not even talking about davening. Talking about Psukei de Zimra. You have to say it, And this is how you need to talk to your wife. Give her full attention. She deserves it. It's a Bayit. This is a Bayit Yehudi, a Jewish home. And more than that, you should learn not to yell. If you want your words to penetrate, lower your voice. Speak softly. Again, that doesn't mean you become a wimp. You speak softly. You speak dignified. If you don't do so, then what's Shekhinah? We're not even talking about Shekhinah. What example you giving to your kids? I don't believe that this is not something that you usually hear people talking about in yeshiva, guiding guys how to behave at home. Nobody talks about it. Because everybody can talk about those things. Derech Eretz, Kadma LaTorah, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. But not when it comes to them. When it comes to them, everybody is patur. Right? I can tell everybody what to do, but to myself, you show an example. Let's say, argument's sake, your wife teaches in Bet Yaakov, whatever it is. You come home, she comes home. You see dishes in the sink. Right? Should you do it? Or she should do it? Most people say that she should do it. She's the wife. What kind of a thing is that? If you, chas v'shalom, would see a siddur not in place in shul, are you going to put it back? Are you going to take your siddur and put it's not yours, somebody else's. Are you going to pick it up, put it in place? You're not. Well, that's why things look the way they look. That's why your kids behave the way they behave. Do not blame the yeshiva for that, because their education starts at home. Your kids behave like animals because you behave like an animal. Your kids see it and they'll act up more. Whatever you do, your kids will do double. When you sit down, do you consider learning with your kids a privilege? Do you sit down and forget about, you know what, I'm not even talking about, because some people will sit down and wait, it's a mitzvah, I have to learn with my kids, But do you really want to spend time with your kid? Do you see it as a necessity for you to sit down with your kid? Not even just learn with him, sit down and talk to him. Talk to your kid. How's everything? How's this? Talk to him. Talk to him. Give him attention. Give your kid 5 minutes of dedicated attention, that he would feel that those 5 minutes are his and his only. Rather than to give him 5 hours that he feels because you have to. I'll tell you one day, Daddy, you don't need to do that. It's okay. The problem that we are facing today at homes, the problems that we are facing today in shuls, in yeshivot, the problems that we're facing today as a nation, many times stems from a wrong attitude, from the wrong perspective and the wrong attitude about how and why are we doing what we're doing. We are too busy playing games. We're too busy playing a role. Everybody's playing a role. We're like in a movie. You don't allow yourself to be yourself. And to be yourself means acting like a Ben Torah. Ben Torah needs to have a certain code of behavior. And if you therefore cannot find it, so find yourself a rabbi that will guide you through it. Ask him these questions. If your rabbi does not teach you, ask him. And if you can find one, it's very simple. I just told you what to do. Go to the Shulchan Aruch. Learn all these halachot of how to conduct in Beit HaKnesset. Apply it to your home. Apply it to your home. And by doing so, you'll achieve great things. Your house would look like a Jewish home, like a Bayit Yehudi. And hopefully you also behave in shul the way it should. Those halachot in the Shulchan Aruch nobody learns. It's a forgotten halachot. Nobody learns halachot Beit HaKnesset, halachot tefillah. Those don't learn. People go, they learn Gittin and Ribit, and they learn all kind of beautiful things, but that really are not so applicable to you. You think you graduated, you don't need to. You need to learn it and learn it and learn it on and on and on again. You can tell who the person is by the way he davens. I'm telling you this. Without mentioning names, there's a certain individual who's always asking about tefillah. Right? Is he a soft individual or is not? That's the reason. Tefillah is a very important thing. If your tefillah is because you have to, everything else in your life that has to do with the relationship will be a have to. Whether it's a relationship with your friends, or a relationship with your wife, and so on and so forth. So if you want to see your success in future relationships, look at, first of all, your relationship with Ribono Shel Olam. What kind of a relationship is that? Is it an intimate relationship? Is it a forced relationship? Is it a relationship in which you invest in, or in a relationship you just do because you have to do it? And that would include getting up on time and davening, wanting to daven with a minyan, seeing the joy of tefillah. See how lucky you are that you have a shul to go to 5 minutes away from your home. There are communities in this country that they don't have this luxury of having a shul almost on every corner. You have to walk miles. I'm not talking about driving. Driving is out of the question. I mean, not on Shabbos, of course. But, even if you have to drive, they have to drive quite of a distance to go to shul for a minyan. And you have a shul around the corner, on any corner of the street. You can find a shul to your liking. Whether it's a Hasidic shul, Yeshiva shul, Ashkenazi, Sephardi, whatever you want, you have. So with this all great availability that you have here on the market, so-called, you can find one to your liking, and when you find one, you come to shul and you talk. Shul is not a social club. If you want a social gathering of males, I don't know, make yourself some kind of a kosher sport bar, hang around there and then whatever. But the shul is not a bar. Why are you acting in a shul like you're acting in a bar? I remember I used to live on Long Island, there was a shul there, I couldn't hear. I mean, I could stand next to the Baal Koreh and the Shabbat, and I couldn't hear the guy reading the Torah. It's ridiculous. In the markets in Israel, I remember when I was a kid, I don't know, I was maybe 6, 7 years old, I went one time to the market in Gaza. It was a market day that took us to Gaza. I remember. Wow, what a chaos. Woo! What a chaos. I've never seen such a chaos in my life. Markets are exciting. You want this chaos. This one is selling, this one sells in a lira, it wasn't a shekel. Lira, chetzi lira, yelling. Go through Shuk Tikva in Tel Aviv, Shuk Carmel, everybody yelling at the top of the lungs. That's good for a market. That's not good for a shul. That's not good for a shul. Do an observation. Next time you go to a shul, to next minyan you go, observe the people. And then you see how much you could learn. And then observe yourself. And look how much you care about your tefillah. And this will show you how much you care about your davening, about your relationship, about your wife, and so on and so forth. Don't come to the rabbi later on, I have a problem with my wife, I have a problem with my kids, I have a problem like this. The problem is not with the kids. The problem is not with the wife. You are the problem. The problem is actually not even with you. You are the problem. It's your attitude and you. And that you need to fix. HaKadosh Baruch Hu did not leave us lost in this world. He gave us guidance. So learn it. Apply it. Be serious about what you do. Lower your voice. Speak softly. Speak kindly. And you'll have Shalom Bayit. Not, you're going to be just another statistics about the divorce rate, the increased divorce rate. And by the way, this is also true for frum and non-frum people. In terms of their chances to get divorced or not to get divorced or face problems and so on and so forth. So if I were you, I would do two things very quickly. I would learn all these halachot of Kvod Bet HaKnesset very carefully, implement them, and I would look very carefully into the way and to the how of my own davening. Have a great day. Questions?